right, so you made it to this lesson. And in this lesson, we're gonna create a blueprint, new one. Let's do it. So what we're gonna do, we're just gonna go back to the content drawer and create a new folder. I would say here in the content folder, you can click here, add new folder, and I'm gonna call it blueprint test. Because we have these blueprints here for the starter content, but I just want our blueprints to be in a separate folder. Double click to open the folder. And now let's add a blueprint. So add, and here we have some basic assets like blueprint, level, material, and Niagara system. And we need the blueprint class. So we need to pick parent class here. And you can see there are several types and even more here, a lot of them. But for now, I just want you to know that there is the actor class, which is very common class, character class, which is the blueprint for the character. You remember that the character that we have here has this icon for this blueprint. That means that his blueprint has the character class. For this lesson, I'm gonna choose the actor class. I'm gonna rename it to BP. Remember, I told you that it's best practice to rename your items accordingly. So BP for blueprint, M for material, and etc. I'm gonna call it ball because my plan is to create a ball here. Okay. Double click and drag and drop it here like this. Okay, so now we have the viewport opened and there is nothing here. That's because our blueprint is just empty. So we need to add something to it. So I'm gonna add a sphere. And since we have some assets imported to our project, you'll see the sphere right here. All right, here's the sphere. Let's take a look at the details. So the sphere is a static mesh. It has material, which is basic shape material. So let's click Save, Compile, and go back to our scene. And now I can drag and drop this ball to the scene. To put this ball on the floor, we need to move it a bit, like this. All right. Let's click Play. Okay. All right, so we see the sphere on the floor. And as you can see, it already has a collision. So let's go back to the blueprint. And you can see that when you create a new blueprint, there will be these 3 events drafted for you, okay? But these nodes are disabled and will not be called unless you add a node somewhere. And what I want to do is I want this ball or the sphere to disappear when the character touches it. To do it, first we need some kind of trigger. So let's add a collision. Add collision, box collision. Make it a bit bigger, like this. It's too much. Okay, we have this box collision, and this box collision is a trigger. So the script that we need is when the character touches the trigger, then the object disappears, right? So let's go back to the event graph. And you know what? This event actor begins overlap works for us just fine. You can check the description. Event when this actor overlaps another actor. For example, a player walking into a trigger. So, and what we need to destroy the object. When you're just experimenting around Unreal Engine, what you can do is do like this and then just type what you want to do. In this case, it's destroy. We're lucky and we have this destroy actor function, and we also have the destroy component function. But of course, if we choose destroy component function, nothing will happen, right? Because the component will be destroyed, but the ball itself, the sphere, still will be visible. So we need the destroy actor function. And we can see the target, which is self, and that means that this function works for this ball. All right, so let's save, compile, and try it. Bim. That's it. All right, let's do the other thing. Very simple again. So this time what I want to do is I want the sphere to change its color or change its material when the character touches it. And again, we're going to use this event because touch in this case means overlap. Two collisions overlap each other. Right now, if we click here to the sphere, we can see that it has the basic shape material, but we have a lot of different materials here. So we can use some of them. So I'm going to select this node and just click delete. We're going to find the function. So what we want to change, we want to change the material. That means we want to set new material. So we want to set material. If we just type material, get a lot of different functions, but here, set material. So you see set material box or set material sphere. Actually, that's the elements that we have here. It's the components right here. And if I rename one of them box my and go back and type set material, you can see it says box my. So that's not just a sphere or a box, it's the components that we have created. So I'm going to change the material for the sphere because the box is just a collision. It doesn't have material. Okay. Whoop. Okay, very good. I'm going to rename the box to just box again. All right. So let's select a material. For example, this one. And now I just need to connect this with the event, just like this. Okay, save, compile. Boom. So when the character touches it, the sphere changes its material. Awesome, right? Since we chose the set material for the sphere, the node sphere was created automatically, so you don't need to overthink it. The system has created the set material function and the target node, which is the sphere. Now it's time for a bit more complicated script. So I'm gonna close this one. You can see this sign that means that it's not saved. So basically you can just click Ctrl and S. Can click save all, and then it is saved. But we will not use the sphere anymore. Instead, we're gonna create a new blueprint. It will be the same class, the actor class, BP. We're gonna call it door, because it will be about door. Okay, again, I drag and drop it here. All right, so again, the viewport is empty. And what we need to do is to add something here. So what this blueprint for? I want the door to open when the player opens it. Okay, so we need to add a door here. And you can remember that we have in the folder props right here, we have a lot of different things, such as this door frame, and the door. Boom, together. Okay, so I'm gonna delete this for now. But that's what I want inside the blueprint. So to add this, we first need to add a mesh. So I'm gonna type mesh, and you see we have skeletal mesh, static mesh. And yeah, this is the mesh that we want to create, the static mesh. So this door is just a part of the door. So I'm gonna need another part. I'm gonna create a static mesh, and it's gonna create the door again, but instead of the door, I need the door frame. First, we need to rename it to door frame and door, and I can drag and drop it like this, so that now we have the door frame, and inside it we have the door. What we need to do is we need to move this door so that it fits the door frame. Let's do it. All right, so this is our door with the door frame. So now we need to add a trigger. Remember the way we did with the sphere, we need some kind of collision so that when a player enters the area, we can understand that it's happening. So let's add collision. Okay, I'm going to use the box collision again, and we need to adjust its size. Yeah, that should be okay. Right now, the box is the part of the door frame. We can just move it like this. And now the box is not a part of the door frame anymore. Okay, so I'm going to compile and save this and go to the event graph. So for this script, we don't need these nodes. So I'm just gonna use my left mouse to do like this and click delete. Okay, so first we need an event, right? So let's create an event. So what we need to do, we need to select the box and create a new event. So you can scroll down and see a lot of events that we have here. And in this case, we need this one. On component begin overlap. Let's click. It also says box because the box was selected. So this event will be called when something like a character overlaps the box, and the box is this collision box that we did. But we don't want all actors to start this script, right? We just need the character. So in this case, we need this over actor reference, and then we need to type cast to third person character. And this is the BP third person character. It's the way the blueprint for the character is called. If your character blueprint is called the other name, you'll see the other name here. And you see that this cast does. It tries to access object as a blueprint class it may be an instance of. So it will check if the actor that overlaps is the BP third person character. And if yes, then from this point, you can see this, it says exec, that means execute. And this, if no, then cast failed. And something happens. So if it is the character, I want the player to push a button, for example, E button, to open the door. So if the character, which should be this character, overlaps the box, then I want to enable input. So what I want to do is I want to type input, enable input. You see that it has the player controller, so we need a player controller. Okay, just like this. So if something overlaps the box, then first we check if it's the BP third person character. And if yes, then we enable the input for the player controller. But we can't just leave it like this. We need to say what will happen if we end the overlap. For example, the character can touch the door, touch the box, then run away a few miles, and then the input still will be enabled. And if he pushed the button that we assign, then the door will open. And that's not what we want. So we need to go back to the box and choose on component and overlap. So that's this way we can end all this. And it's pretty the same. So again, we need to check if it's cast to BP third person character. It is. Again, we connect it like this. And this time, if yes, then disable input for the same player controller. All right, perfect. Let's save and compile. Now it's time to add a key that we will use to open and close the door. So you can choose whatever button you want. For example, let's choose the E button. E key. And okay, yeah, here they are. All the keys. So this is the E key. And you can see that it has pressed, released, and the key. I want the character to be able to open and close the door by pressing the E. So if you push E once, the door will open. If you push E the second time, it will close. That means that we basically have just the two positions, right? One is open, one is closed. And to manage them, we can use the flip-flop action. Here you go. Flip-flop is just two alternatives. When you press one, it does the A, and if you press the second time, it does the B. So what open door means, it means that this door, which is this part of the door frame, is rotated, right? So let's rotate it like this. Okay, 90 degrees. See it? And you can see here that we have rotated it along the z-axis 90 degrees. So, okay, let's go back to the script here. So I'm gonna drag and drop the mesh because I'm gonna change its settings. And then let me go back a bit. So we need the rotation. We have the set relative rotation. That's good what we need to do. Set the rotation of the component relative to its parent. Okay, that works. So the target will be this door. Then the A is going here. And we change the z-axis to 90 degrees. And then let's just do like this. Select these two nodes, copy, Control C, Control V. Okay. And B like this. And the new rotation will be just 0. Okay. We don't need this door. I think we just can connect it like this. All right, let's check. Compile, save. Okay, hold on. We need to put the door on the scene first. So I'm going to our folder, blueprint test, put the door right here, and then play the game. Okay. I have pressed E and the door opens and it lets me go through. Now I'm gonna click E again and it closed. And from the other side, oop. Okay. Okay. I think the right way to open the door is from this side. This is the right way to open the door, right? Okay, let's put minus so that it opens not to this side but to the other side. And I also see that we need to move the door a bit. You see this? You see the space between the door and the door frame? Doesn't look good. Okay, so I'll go back to the blueprint. Okay. Like this. Okay, and then go to the event graph and put minus here. Okay. Again, save compile. It might not be the case in your case because it really depends how you put your door frame to this angle or to the other, but I don't want to redo this. Oh, I put the other door. Oh my god. I didn't want that. I didn't want that. Okay. Okay, play again. And let's open the door. Okay, it opens. It closes. Yay! I'm pushing E right now. I'm pushing E on my keyboard. If you assign the other button, then the other button will work. Okay, perfect.